Hello, welcome. Oh, overexcited. Hello, welcome. It's great to have you all here. I think I just blew the mic. Never mind. I'll calm down. We've got a great show for you today. Today we're talking about one of my favourite topics, coaching and mentoring. I learned about coaching and mentoring many years ago, and particularly after I learned about coaching, it transformed the way that I managed projects and led project teams. So it's had a huge transformative effect on my career. I think I probably benefited more in aggregate from coaching than from being coached. So today is about actually delivering coaching, and I'll be arguing for the benefits. But also we'll talk about the benefits to the person you're coaching. We'll look at what coaching is, what mentoring is, also what counselling is, because these are words that overlap in people's minds and they overlap in reality as well. So I'm going to talk about that. So it's great to be there. And also, by the way, we've got a second announcement. After last month's announcement of cutting all my prices in half, I've got something a bit different to announce at the end of this live stream. But first, as always happens, as soon as I start speaking, we start getting a couple of people signing in into the chat. If you are here, you are welcome to lurk and not participate. It's absolutely your right, and just glad to get the numbers and get the message out there. But if you want to participate, if you just want to stick your head above the parapet just a little bit, put your name in the chat and just tell us a tiny snippet, like where you're from or what you want to learn. Because the live streams that I've enjoyed most as a viewer, ones where lots of people participate, they ask interesting questions, they put forward interesting points of view. Some of them even pay with a super chat, but that's not at all necessary. We're still small. It's still a small community, still a small live stream. So just happy to be interacting with you and building the channel up. So who have we got? Just as I was signing in, HD Media Channel signed in. So all I had time to type before I kind of had to hit the button was hi. So HD Media Channel. So Hudaya, CEO of my own company in quality management consultant. Working at BP for the oil and gas project site representative. So what you haven't told us, Hudaya, is where you are in the world, and are you a he or a she, or what are your preferences? Because it's not a name I know. What else have we got? We've got Hamburg Gumbel. Been to a lot of my live streams lately, so it's good to have you here. Nods in acknowledgement to all. That's great. Good to have you here. One of the winners of a competition, I think, a few months back. Then we've got, let's see if I can manage this. Joa, I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Hambili from Angola. I think you might be the first person to join us on the live stream from Angola. So that's it's great to have you here. Joa. Gosh, that doesn't translate well into my English kind of speech patterns. Study project management in BYU Pathway. Not a name I know. BYU Pathway. Love learning a lot about this. That's brilliant. Rahil Khan from India, fantastic. Big old country, so do tell me more. I was fortunate enough a couple of times in my younger days to travel around India, so been to, I would say, 3 of the quarters. Been to the north west, been to the southwest, southeast, kind of missed out the northeastern corner, unfortunately. And then we've got Juan Ramirez from Colombia in South America. Fantastic. So that's pretty good. We've got, so I know Hambo's in the UK, so we'll call that one Europe. I know RV Addict is in the US, so that's North America. We've got one from Colombia, that's South America, so that's 3. India, subcontinent, big chunk of Asia, so we'll call that 4. Angola, that's Africa, so that's 5 continents. What are we missing? We're missing Australasia and Antarctica. That will be the day when we get someone signing in from Antarctica. Yes, I'm part of a research group in Antarctica, and I'm studying project management. That would be brilliant. We've had people from Australia, but it is tricky for Australians, I know, because you're completely 180 degrees around the world from us here, which means it's extraordinarily early in the morning, silly o'clock, as one of my friends used to call it. So if you haven't signed in and said hello, and you wish to, please do. And if you've got any starter questions about coaching, mentoring, or anything project management, really, this is going to be quite an informal one. I haven't got any slides prepared for you. I have got my notes, as always, my high-tech notes system, but I haven't. I've just sat down after lunch, and it's 5 p.m. here in the UK. Sat down after lunch and thought about the things I want to talk about, having advertised coaching and mentoring. So we're all prepared, but I do want to keep this one informal. And so, if you've got a question, let me know. HD Media Channel says, "Hi Mike, I'm studying in Magister of Strategic Management, Master of Strategic Management, I guess, in the UK. My thesis topic about project management, which is under preparation at the moment." Fantastic. So, Master of Magister of Strategic Management. I like Magister. It kind of, or Magister, I suppose, is the English pronunciation, but think of it as a kind of German word. I remember as a late teenager, I read one of the most influential books I read was The Glass Bead Game by Hermann Hesse, German author, Das Glasperlenspieler, and the title of the master of the Glass Bead Game was Magister Ludi, Master of the Games. And so I kind of like that. It sounds weighty and substantial, and strategic management is really weighty and substantial, and I think it's fantastic. I'll come on to picking up some of the other comments, but I think it's fantastic. HD Media Channel is studying strategic management, and he's doing a thesis topic about project management. Underlines what I think is fundamentally the truth, that project management is a strategic activity. We plan stuff out strategically, and then it's project managers that deliver it. And my good friend Elio Costa, in his Flex project management methodology, which is something you might want to have a look at, HD Media Channel, he talks about a methodology which expands all the way from the enterprise strategic level down to portfolios, to programs, to projects, all the way down to product. Let me find it so that I can show you that. I think it's a great resource for anybody who is interested in what project management can be and what the options are. So let me just go over to my website web screen. So this is the Flex website. It's flexmodel.com. I'll paste that into the chat for you if you want to pursue it. And the Flex hybrid system is fantastic kind of resource. You can download a free guide to the thing. You can download the Canvas guide, which is full of great tools. And if we look under, he's changed the. I think he's changed the menu a little bit. If we look under resources to ebooks, I think I mentioned this last time. The first ebook that comes up is Value Governance, written by me. My computer's being a bit slow, my apologies. Guess it's trying to struggle with quite a lot going on. And there's 2 pages of these, and there'll be more to come, Elio reminds me. But Flex model is a fantastic model, and it goes all the way from the organization up the top to portfolio layer, to project management layer, to product management layer, and you've got your value management office spanning all of that, and your business analysis and the kind of different roles. So that's a simplification of the model, but it's great. It's a great model. Right, let's see, what else have we got here? So PMP Calvin. I can't help but think of one, or wonder whether PMP Calvin has an imaginary friend called PMP Hobbs. Calvin from Hong Kong. All right, so that's further east than India, still part of Asia. Interested to get PMI ACP, so that's the Agile Certificate of Practice, Agile Certified Practitioner, I think. So yeah, which simulator is closest to real exam? I would always refer people to the PM Prepcast. Cornelius Fishner, who I'm actually going to be interviewing quite soon for the channel, has been in the business longer than most, and he's got a huge amount of experience. I know he and his team spend a lot of time crafting the questions. The simulator is designed to look and feel like the experience. He crafts the questions very carefully. Let me get you a link to where you can learn more about that. Bear with me just 1 second. So we don't want the PMP, we don't want CAPM, CAPM. Here we go. Agile Certified Practitioner. Oh no, I've linked to the wrong page. That was foolish of me. Where are we? Prepcast. There we go. So I'll put that link in there for you. What I would say, PMP Calvin, is that you asked specifically about simulator. Worth noting that PM Prepcast is no longer an ATP, so their training is not following the precise PMI guidance requirements. They've decided that they believe they can do a better job with their experience. I do also resell the Grey Campus course. I don't think their simulator is as good. That's why I didn't put it there, but it's a different style of course, and of course they are PMI ATP accredited trainers, and therefore if you want the PMI specific content in the training course, which I have to say the PMP one, which I've done with Grey Campus, they do it well, but they are hobbled by the fact that PMI's materials are not great. I think Cornelius, I know he's revising all his materials, and I think they're going to be better. But good luck with that. I think that's a great one to do. I am actually wondering whether to completely follow a PMI ACP course, or possibly, because I'm in the UK, maybe look at the Prince 2 Agile course myself, because I'm not an agilist and I've never had any formal agile training. I've had excuse me, lots of little bits of training. I should actually drink out of my management courses mug. This is our sister channel, of course, so I'll have finish the tea. It's getting a bit cold, but if you don't know about management courses, I'll tell you more about that in a bit. What else have we got here? Rahil Khan, PM versus PMO, your thoughts? Right, project management versus project management office is how I would interpret, or program management office, or portfolio management office. They're not in the same category. So please, Rahil, could you clarify the question for me? First, check whether I've actually got the right interpretation of your acronyms, PM and PMO, and secondly, in what way do you want me to compare them? Happy to answer the question, just need to be clear I'm answering the right question. Also on MBA in project management, fantastic. So this is great. You're going to be smarter than I am. Oh, here we go. Hambo Gumbel recently started working at a PMO in London. Busy is very much an understatement. Absolutely. By the way, I think I said this last time, but if you are in PMO work, do have a look at my friend Stuart's channel, Influential PMO. I should try and get that up on screen just to show you that, or at least to grab the URL. Stuart is on, publishes about once a week now. Used to do a lot more often before his second child came along. But as you say, Hambo, very busy. But Influential PMO, he talks a lot more about PMO specific stuff, but a lot of good general project management stuff too. So well worth checking out his channel, but not now. Wait till you've finished the live stream. Oh gosh, I'm going to struggle to pronounce this. Abimanupatial. Oh, right, from Mexico, Guadalajara. Great to attend your session. PM role located in Guadalajara. Fantastic. So we've got Central America. We've got South America. We've got North America. Now we've got Central America. So that's the whole Americas, continent-wise, taken up. No one from Canada. We've got regular from Canada, but don't see him in the thing, and his name's just escaped my memory. Nicolas. So hopefully he might join later. Excuse me. Rahil says 10 years into IT, 4 years as project manager, PMP certified. Congratulations. What's next in the career path for growth? Well, I think my view is it's the soft skills that are really going to grow you as a professional. So the two things I'd say is look at the kind of projects you want to be delivering and get the specific skills that you need to deliver those. If they are a sectoral type of project, let's say you wanted to be delivering medical electronics type projects, then learn more, find out about medicine, find out about electronics, find out about medical electronics. So there's that. And then if you wanted to be delivering more agile style projects, get yourself agile style training, Scrum, for example. If you want to move, into a heartbeat type delivery service, then maybe Kanban training, that sort of thing. But if you are generally happy with the type of project you're doing and how you're technically delivering them, then it's the soft skills. And I always say project managers throughout our careers, we should be studying and learning psychology. And I think you're on the right live stream, because becoming an accomplished coach and mentor will not only develop your people and create better project teams, but it will also have that knock-on effect of developing you that I'm going to be talking about. So that would be my tip, Rahil. But if you've got any more specifics, do ask them. PMP Calvin, printed copy of PMBOK Guide 6 is said to be phased out since April, per Oliver Lehman. Really? Olive Lehman, I think it's Oliver Lehman. Is PMBOK 6 permanently irrelevant and replaced by PMBOK 7? So let me grab the exhibits A and B. Exhibits A and B. So this is the 6th edition, the big, thick 6th edition. This is the svelte, slimmed down 7th edition. So the situation as I understand it, I don't believe that PMBOK 6 is going to be phased out in April. I don't think Oliver Lehman would have said that. I think you may have misinterpreted, because what PMI has said is that from the first quarter they will this quarter they will be starting work incorporating questions into the PMP examination that draw from this book as well as from this book. It will take them time to get the questions calibrated, but I expect probably by quarter 2, new candidates will start to see PMBOK 7 based questions. There will continue to be a load of PMBOK 6 based questions. The phasing out of PMBOK 6, I don't think the concepts in PMBOK 6 will ever phase out, but what will happen is that we'll start to see, let's see if I can find the link, there we go. We'll start to see the PMI Standards Plus website used as the reference instead of PMBOK 6, because all of the content of PMBOK 6 is going on to Standards Plus. So I'll do a quick reveal on that. So there is the PMI Standards Plus website. I'll grab the URL to post into the chat. So future PMP and I think probably future CAPM candidates will be referring to this rather than PMBOK 6, and PMBOK 7 will increasingly come into the PMP exam. PMBOK 7 into the PMP exam. Now, PMI has said that it is starting work on reviewing CAPM examination, and I think there's a while before we're going to see any formal announcements, but I could be wrong on that. So let me come back to there. So I don't believe PMBOK 6, the ideas in PMBOK 6 are going to get phased out, but the need to buy a physical copy will diminish, and I probably will stop reprinting them at some point. And you'll get all the information from the PMI Standards Plus site. People I know who saw it early on, because I'm not a member, so I don't have access. People I know who saw it early on said it was a pig to use. I understand now it is possibly just a piglet to use, and it is getting better. So that's my answer to that one. But do come back if you've got a reference on that. PMBOK 7 is not replacing the ideas in PMBOK 6, but it is the new PMBOK, and it is. Remember when PMI create these books, they're actually 2 books in one. It's called the PMBOK Guide, but actually, and in this one, it's the second half of the book. Is actually the guide to the project management body of knowledge, and that contains the 8 project management domains, of which more next live stream. It contains the stuff on tailoring and the models, methods, and artifacts. The first half, slightly smaller, contains the stuff on value and the stuff on principles, and that actually is not the guide to the project management body of knowledge. It is the standard for project management, and this is the American National Standards Institute standard. So, of course, that supersedes the standard in PMBOK 6. So, long answer to a short question. Where are we? PMP Calvin, thanks for the guidance. Thanks, Mike. Right, Abhimani Patel. Can you please talk about scope versus SOW? Is that scope of work or statement of work? Both could be either. Normally, statement of work, Sal, in traditional model. Are they the same? If statement of work is extended version of scope, is statement of work created before project starts, during sales, or during initiation phase? Okay, first thing to note is that this is likely to be context dependent. What kind of project are you delivering? What sector are you delivering in what training regime did people in your organization go through? However, I would interpret the statement of work as being an overview of what needs to be delivered, a statement of what we want to achieve, broken down to a degree. The scope, the full scope, and therefore the scope of work, the full scope is articulated through the work breakdown structure. Whether you come from an American PMI influenced background where your work breakdown structure and your scope is expressed as deliverables or products, or whether you come from a more UK based background, I think much of the rest of Europe too, where your scope is as often and sometimes more often stated as tasks or activities that need to be delivered, the work that needs to be done. So I interpret scope as being the more detailed, granular part. Is scope of work or statement of work created before project starts, during sales, or during initiation phase? So I would say that if you are selling a project to a client, then you need to develop the statement of work, put it into the proposal and price against it. And that will include an outline scope at least, possibly a detailed scope statement, but it might be that during the the first phase post contract, which might be seen as the initiation stage, it might be a planning stage. That's where you would nail down the scope in detail and finish the negotiation. It may be that in a very rigid structure you need the scope stated precisely before going into contract, so that the contract is written against the scope. So it will depend, I would say. Hit me back with another question if you need more detail, you've got more specifics. But you said later, talking about IT projects. The reality is I don't have a lot of experience with IT projects. And remember, a lot of IT projects now are hybrid or even fully adaptive. And adaptive projects don't develop a scope statement. You just develop a backlog and then draw down from the backlog for each sprint. And consequently, the client is committing to a fixed timescale per sprint and a fixed budget per sprint and investing incrementally, so it's a bit different. Hambo says, I would advise you to undertake Scrum course first, Mike. Okay, yeah, and interestingly, a lot of people are talking to me about Scrum at the moment. I was going to mention this later, but I'll mention now. I did an interview last week that's going to be coming out in probably about 2 months, given the backlog of stuff that is already lined up for you on the channel, but with a very inspirational project manager called Alexis Allen. Let me show you her channel, because again, this is another channel that is criminally undervisited. Alexis Allen is a Scrum Master. She's an Agile coach and an IT project manager, and her videos are very, they're kind of like as a friend explaining aspects of project management to you, and a lot of her particularly more recent videos are less about general project management and more about project management in a Scrum environment. And Scrum practitioners love the term anti-patterns, which I've now loved. Basically, an anti-pattern is something you do that's rubbish. Mistakes, I suppose. So do have a look at Alexis's Project Management Made Simple, Alexis Allen. I'll paste the link. Again, don't leave the live stream now. But do have a look at Alexis's channel. There's some great stuff there if you're interested in Scrum project management in particular. She's great. Okay, let's come back to my ugly face. Where did we get to? Yep, Scrum is crucial, says PMP Calvin. Right, we're all agreeing on that one. Thanks, Mike, says Rahil, for answering the question. I'm also PSM, so that's Professional Scrum Master. So that would be the scrum.org PSM certification. And into healthcare domain currently. What does it take to walk up the ladder, a program manager or other options? Okay, if you want to walk up the ladder as a distinct strategy, I think the two things you should be investing your time in is building and understanding a political network within your organisation and within the various organisations which might open other doors to you. If you're a member of, for example, a local PMI chapter or a local APM chapter or something equivalent, get to know the other senior projects and portfolio and enterprise people in your area, in your industry sector, but certainly start making contacts within the top levels of your organisation. Learn how to do politics well internally, build networks. That's one strand. The other is get yourself really business focused. Understand how your business works, understand how enterprises work. Learn about project program management. Again, all the big institutes, so the APM publishes stuff on program portfolio management. Axelos, the owners of Prince 2, have fantastic methodologies in program management of programs, MOP, and programs portfolios, P3 methodology and portfolio methodologies. And PMI too has its program method and portfolio management guides. Interestingly, I've got the program management guide on the way. So this is a one out of date standard for portfolio management. These books, these PMI books, are shockingly expensive. So too are the APM equivalents. So too are the Axelos equivalents. This kind of business book, shockingly expensive. My theory is it's very rare that the updates of these are substantial. PMBOK 5 to 6, not a lot of difference. 4 to 5, not a lot of difference. 6 to 7, huge difference. That's the standout. And my theory with all big expensive business books like this, like kind of organizational textbooks like this, is go to your local second-hand book sellers and see if they've got one that's 1, 2, even 3 editions out of date. You'll pay a tiny fraction of the price that you would pay for the new one and get a huge proportion of the content and knowledge. So that's my top tip. Just, don't hoover them all up in the UK market, otherwise you're messing me around and I'll be upset. Excuse me. No, just, dog eat dog. You go for it. What else? Hambo says would suggest program support. Not sure what that's the answer to. Okay. Well, if there's a question somewhere that I need to answer, just refresh my memory with it. Can Mike advise on the anatomy of PMP question? I don't know, I'll ask him. Can PMP candidates learn how to draft and design a PMP question themselves without heavy reliance on a simulator? Okay, so first up, not PMP qualified, haven't done the exam. Yeah, of course you can learn the anatomy, but I think you probably need to find a simulator to do that. I don't know what the anatomy is. Now, the new PMI exam, of course, has about 4 or 5 different question types. It used to just be multiple choice. Now there are all sorts of other types. So simulating the experience is going to be very difficult. What I do suggest, though, is flashcards. 1 second. That was good telly, wasn't it? I just had to pop across the other side of the office. Index cards, the lighting might not make it clear, but these have got, upside down, these have got lines on them, but you can get them in different sizes. They're cheap. You can buy a pack of 100, 200 cards. Just write the question that you want to remember the answer to. How does explain a work breakdown structure or something on one side, and on the other side write the answer. The process of creating them will have just as much value regardless of the fact that it's not in the right format or the technology, and it'll be just as good for revising from. So I would just do that. Probably these ones are too big, but they better as a thing. They come down almost down to business card size, which is too small. I would say probably you want something around. And actually, if you don't want to spend money buying a pack of cards, get yourself a pack of A4 paper. If you cut A4 paper in half and then in half again, you end up with A6 paper, which is that size, and that's a great size. Get yourself some reasonable size paper and cut it up, and that's fine. Spend 10 minutes with a knife and on a sensible surface, and you can cut up loads of A6 sheets of paper, and you're done. You're ready. That would be my tip. Proj, thanks for the advice. I think we're up to date on chat, but just to remind you, if you're here lurking and want to join in, I'm always keen to know who we've got, where you're from, and what your interest is. But I did say that I was going to spend, gosh, we're half an hour in, I haven't actually talked about anything useful. Oops. I did say I was going to speak about coaching and mentoring, and I will do. These live streams tend to be about an hour and a half, so we've still got an hour, plenty of time. I could speak for hours on the subject of coaching and mentoring. In fact, I do actually have a 3-day coaching course that I've delivered many times, and that's three long training days. So, and even then, there's more. I could say the last day usually tends to be focused on the questions that people have and the topics they think are important. So we don't do all the topics we could do. But the first thing I think is to note the relevance for project managers. Why is coaching and mentoring relevant for project managers? Well, firstly, I think in the early days of our careers, we should be seeking out coaches, we should be seeking out mentors, people who can help us develop our skills, whether it be technical skills in the core project management disciplines of planning, scheduling, risk management, stakeholder engagement, cost management, procurement, or whether we're talking about the softer skills of how to manage a team of people, how to get the best out of the people in our team. coaches, mentors can really help us to hone our practice. But as you progress through your career, and I don't think you have to progress very far, because there's always going to be people, a year or two behind you, around and about. We can start offering coaching and mentoring whilst still receiving it, and you will learn a huge amount from that process. You'll think about things you hadn't thought about. You'll have to answer difficult questions, and you'll learn about how to help people develop. And it's hugely rewarding. It's paying it forward through the profession. And I also happen to fundamentally believe that the most valuable use of coaching in the project management environment is as a way to lead a team. And I mentioned that I'd been speaking with Alexis Allen. I did an interview with her about an introduction to Scrum for people who don't understand it, don't know what it is, want to know about it. And she's a day-to-day working Scrum master and agile coach. And basically, my understanding from her is that in a mature Scrum environment, doing things right, the role of a Scrum Master is to act as a coach for the development team, and to a degree for the product manager as well, for the product owner rather. And I think that's fantastic. And we talked about the value to the team of a servant leader, a Scrum Master, as someone there to serve the team and to help them to do their job and to do it well, with the support, the guidance that they need. And the Scrum Master isn't there to tell them what to do or to tell them how to do it. But if they get stuck, they can go to the Scrum Master, who will coach them. Not tell them, but coach them how to do things. And when I learned coaching, so back in the, what would it be, late 1990s, 98-ish, the firm I was in, Deloitte Consulting, decided that coaching would be a great way for senior people to lead teams. So every single manager, senior manager, director and associate and partner in the firm was invited to attend a 3-day coaching training course with some of the best coach trainers in the world, certainly in the UK. Sir John Whitmore literally wrote the book on it, Coaching for Performance. I should find a link to that book. Bear with me just a second. So Coaching for Performance is probably the single best book on coaching in a professional... Oh, hi, Patrick. Just spotted you popping in late. Good to see you. Coaching for Performance is probably the best book for people who want to coach in a professional working environment. It is easy to read. It is a powerful thing. I've done a long form article. I think in the description to this video you'll find the link, and a short video on the GROW model and coaching with that, which John Whitmore was instrumental in publicising. I think he created it along with Graham Alexander in the 1980s. And I learned coaching, and I then was one of about 24 people in a practice of several thousand people selected to do the advanced coaching course with Sir John Whitmore and David Hemery. So Sir John Whitmore was a professional motor racing driver and winner. And David Hemery was an Olympic silver medal hurdler who told us a fantastic story of how and why he didn't get the gold. And it wasn't, saying that he was unfairly beaten. He was fair and square beaten, but his mindset was different to the runner that beat him, which I thought was fascinating. And that kind of, for me, although he didn't put it in these terms, he had a different strategy, and it was the wrong strategy as it turned out. And one of the things that Sir John Whitmore's mentor, and someone also who taught me some of my coaching skills, was Timothy Galway, famous for the inner game of tennis, the inner game of golf, inner skiing. And Graham Alexander and Sir John Whitmore were inner game coaches, and Timothy Galway talks about performance being the difference between potential and interference. Performance equals potential minus interference. I've been dying to use this technique, so I'm just gonna write that down for you, because so let me. Oh, why is that not working? That's not working. Okay, we won't do that then. Oh, it's because I've actually put the wrong thing on. Let's put a light on. Actually, doesn't seem to need a light, but the equation is no. Let's do that again. Performance equals potential minus interference. So that is what you're capable of. That is what you do. And that is the stuff that gets in the way. So this is Timothy Galway. Now, where is this interference coming from? Well, it can be from colleagues, it can be from the organisation, and it is the job of the servant leader to get rid of that interference, to deal with the interference. But it can also come from inside you, and that's where a coach really helps, to help you to unblock all that interference. And I thought that was fascinating. Oh, I should, by the way, make the declaration. The link I've given to Sir John Whitmore's book is, of course, affiliated, but that helps me to fund the channel and doing things like this. You buy one of those books, I get 10p, about 15 cents, and that's more than recompense for for doing this live stream. Yeah, agile coaches. Fantastic. Anyway, so yeah, what I was saying is that I learned, did advanced course, 5 days solid, full long days. We had evening sessions after dinner. We talked about coaching during dinner. We got up early. We did coaching 5 days, and I started coaching my teams, my project teams, and transformed their performance with that. And as a result, got recognised and promoted twice in 2 years within the firm. So that, I think, is the real benefit of coaching to us as project managers. We get better teams when we coach them, and we get better results. Therefore, we get the opportunities to be promoted. And whoever, I apologize, I can't recall who asked the question, how do I get promoted up into a program role? One of the best ways is to learn how to coach, because at a program level, you will need to coach your project managers within the program, or may need to coach, or may choose to. PMO roles also are great roles for coaching project managers. Let's go back to my ugly mug. Now I've proved that the technology works if I press the right button. Yes, some questions. Right, anything news? Thanks, you so kind and clear. My pleasure. Patrick, hello. Hambo, cracking read. Yes, Hambo seems to be one of the best read people on the stream. Throwing your book at you guys, and Hambo has probably read it. So we're looking forward to your live streams, Hambo. Well, there's an idea. Guests. You've got my email. Anyway, so yeah, the link. I think the link with Agile and particularly Scrum practices is very clear to me. The interrelationship between coaching and mentoring and servant leadership, and how Scrum is supposed to work. And so the couple of people who said earlier on that we should be thinking about Scrum, it's a really good training course. I think that's absolutely right. Now, there are 3 words that I've been banding around, 2 words I've been banding around, and one that gets associated with them that we kind of need to unscramble a bit, which are coaching, mentoring, and to a degree counselling. So what do they mean? And actually, it just occurred to me that since I've got the technology working, I'm going to draw another picture on the overhead webcam. So light's not coming on. Oh, there it is. So it's a very familiar metaphor, and one that's often used, is the metaphor of an iceberg. And the metaphor is basically that 9/10 of the mass of an iceberg is underwater. Ice floats on water. It's an unusual material, water. The frozen phase is lighter than the liquid phase, and so if 9/10 is underwater, then about a third of the cross section, 2/3 of the cross section, and the metaphor goes like this. Let's just adjust that on the screen a bit. Above water is the stuff that we can see. So if we think about that as you, or indeed your colleague, probably more relevant when thinking about, I can't spell colleague, you or your colleague, the bit that's underwater is the stuff you can't see. Okay, you can't see their capabilities. You can't see what they can do or what they can't do. You can infer it, maybe, but you can't see it. You can't be sure of what someone can do because you can't see what's inside them, and you can't see what their beliefs are about their capabilities. You can't see what their values are that drive their decision making. You can't see their sense of self, who they think they are, what drives them, and you certainly can't see their mission in life. But what you can see is their behaviour. And all these things drive behaviour, of course. And as a result of their behaviour, you can see their performance. So when we talk about coaching for performance, these are the outcomes they get in the world. That's the things that they kind of create in the world. If you are a skilled, experienced manager, project manager, you can see how their behaviour drives their performance, the links. You can see what works to create the performance and what doesn't. And you may therefore be able to infer the capabilities they have. What you can't infer is that they don't have a capability that they are not showing. All you know is they're not showing it. Now, I think the understanding of mentoring and coaching is largely around where you are on this iceberg model. So I think mentoring is focused quite high up here. And mentoring is about imparting your experience and your knowledge to another person. And the word comes from the Greek classic Homer's Odyssey, where Odysseus has left his home to travel to the Trojan War. He doesn't know at the time, but he's going to be away for 20 years, but he knows he's going to be away for a long time. So he entrusts the education of his son Telemachus to an old friend called Mentor. And he says to Mentor, make sure you share everything you know with Telemachus. Basically, I want Telemachus to be as smart and as wise as you. And so mentoring is about imparting knowledge with the benefit of your experience and wisdom, and that's largely around performance, to a degree around behaviour, I'd say, and maybe enhancing capabilities. But now coaching, I would say, operates here. We are coaching for performance, of course, and to do that we help people to make decisions about behaviours, but now we are really focused on developing their capabilities and also critically changing their beliefs about themselves, giving them more confidence in what they do and what they can do. Counselling is not a role for project managers. It's a whole skill set that is, I think, you can gain the skill set, no reason why you can't, but it's not something we should be doing day to day, because counselling is helping people with deeper personal and even psychological problems. And so this is going to be, yes, but working at the level of beliefs, but also at the level of values, possibly even sense of self and mission. And so digging that deep into someone is someone's kind of unconscious and conscious thinking is probably going further than we should be going in the workplace. So what do I take from that? Well, firstly, there's a lot of overlap between mentoring and coaching, and between coaching and counselling. Secondly, I take the same view about this basket of skills and techniques as I do about project management as a whole. You've heard me say it already this year, some of you, and it is my catchphrase for the year. All project management is hybrid project management. That is to say, the distinction between adaptive and predictive is nonsense. They're just two ends of a spectrum with lots and lots of different tools and techniques that we can use. It's the same with mentoring and coaching and counselling. They are 3 points along a spectrum, a messy spectrum of skills and behaviours and tools and ways of working with people to get the best out of them. And therefore, unless you are paid to be a coach, paid to be a mentor, the idea of being purist about it and saying, I'm only going to coach, I'm not going to mentor, I'm only going to mentor, I'm not going to coach, or I'm going to counsel, but I'm not going to counsel, whatever. That's just, that's for the birds. We do what we need to do to get the best out of the people around us. And in particular, I would say that my own style is a real blend of coaching and mentoring. I will coach as much as I can to get the best out of someone. Coaching for me is about helping someone to discover their own answers, whereas mentoring is about giving them answers. But a lot of my clients have said to me, I want to know how you would do it. And they don't want only to figure it out for themselves. They want the confidence, the comfort of knowing that that I have some answers for them. I just spotted Patty Donahue. Wish I could stay and watch. This is being recorded. Right, yes, it is being recorded. There's usually a little gap after I've finished the stream while YouTube does its thing, but certainly within an hour usually you can watch the replay and it's going to be there forever. So thanks for coming in, Patty. Stay as long as you can. Hopefully you're still there. And go when you need to. Then we've got Geremu Kefialu. That's a style of name I've never come across. Geremu, that sounds like a variation on the English name Jeremy. So I'm going to go with a European name, but I don't recognise it. Thanks so much. Big fun. Big fan, maybe, and follower of your efforts. Thank you very much, Geremu. Maybe it's Jeremy, actually. Maybe it's a soft G. Romance language or Germanic language? Who knows? Well, Jeremy or Jeremy certainly knows. Do tell me how to pronounce your name, please. Anyway, where were we? So, yeah, don't be purist about it. Use the techniques that you use, that you have at your disposal. And you'll find in the description, which every YouTuber is used to saying in the description below, but I've noticed now on some channels, including this one, if you're on a full-size web browser, YouTube is, I think, experimenting with, don't think they've swapped over yet, putting when you click on see more, it pops up to the right of your video, if the video isn't occupying full width, which is not yet the default. So they're messing. But in the description, find the description, go hunting for it. If you click the see more and nothing appears, you'll find links to articles on the site about mentoring, about coaching, and also videos about coaching and mentoring, how to coach, how to mentor, use the grow model. There's loads of grow. Nicola's arrived. Just arrived. Wow, missed out most of the stream today because of a meeting. Don't worry, it's being recorded. I was noting that we had the whole of the Americas covered except for Canada. We've got someone here from South America, someone from Central America, someone from the US, and now we've got someone from Canada. So fantastic. I suppose that kind of leaves Alaska and the islands. Anyone from the Galapagos? Got a tortoise attending. Anyway, great to have Nicola here as well. So, what else? Where are we? How are we doing time-wise? Hit me with some questions. I'm dying for some questions. But I've got a few more things to say, and then we'll take a look at my little announcement. So, yeah, what else did I want to say? I think there's a couple of... I did promise to talk about what I think are fundamental skills, and also how we can use this for professional development. And I think I've probably covered the professional development, self-development thing to a degree, but yes, it will help you lead your teams better. Yes, it will help you pay forward. But there's a lovely quote from Richard Bach's book, Illusions, which is, I think... subtitled something like "The Confessions of a Reluctant Messiah." It's quite an amusing little book. But one of the quotes in that is, "You teach best what you most need to learn." The way I interpret that is that when people ask you a question that you're not 100% sure of because you don't really know it, or you know it very well but you don't really do it, that then triggers in your mind all the things that you know you need to tell them. Because it's kind of fresh in your psyche, and that's one of the ways we learn, is by teaching others. And so often answering questions on training courses, on by email, whatever, I've found that the question has challenged me to really improve my understanding of something that I never really quite understood enough. And so it's hugely developmental to coach and to mentor, because you have to answer questions that you can't necessarily prepare for, and it forces you into really thinking deeply about things. And and sometimes the honest answer to a question, particularly in a mentoring situation, is I don't know, but next time we meet, by the time we meet next time, I will have an answer for you. I will research it, and that's great, because that's how we learn. And those of you who get my monthly newsletter, which is not for project managers but is for managers and professionals in general, will know that today's was about 10 attitudes, and a lot of them were about learning and developing ourselves, as you might expect. So what are the fundamental skills? I think there are 4 skills that are fundamental to coaching and to mentoring. And if you can develop these skills, then all the kind of technique, the GROW model, the Oscar model, all the different models that you can get, they become a framework, but these are the skills. And the first is rapport. I think the ability to make the people around you, and in particular the person you're mentoring or coaching, comfortable in your presence and feel safe and secure, and that you are understanding them, that you are empathic. That rapport building skill is the first of my 4 fundamental skills. And a lot of that is about the ability to exchange a little bit of gentle chit-chat. It's about putting people at their ease. It's about arranging the space that you're in, about choosing an appropriate space. It's about body language. It's about matching them and being a bit like them so they feel comfortable with you. The second fundamental skill is questioning. It's a bit different in mentoring and coaching. In mentoring, you're going to be asked a lot of questions. But the questioning skill here is one fundamentally of calibrating what information is most useful and how to deliver it. So asking follow-up questions of your own will help you to answer their question precisely and accurately. If you are coaching, of course, your job as a coach is not to impart your knowledge, but to help people uncover their own knowledge. And so the questioning is helping them to make realizations. And the first stage of a coaching conversation is evoking awareness of what the other person wants to achieve, awareness of what the other person has already done, the current situation, the factors that are relevant in the situation, and awareness of the options they've got. So there's a lot of questioning, and we use the funnel method of questioning. We ask big open questions like, what are you trying to achieve? What have you tried so far? What has got in your way? What are the problems you're likely to face? But then we narrow the funnel with probing questions. Tell me more about this. How precisely did you do that? And then we kind of really come down to the kind of checking questions. Did you do this or that? Do you want to try this or not? Some, the closed questions. So we use the funneling approach, and we also use calibration questions. How confident are you on a scale of 1 to 10 that this is what you want to be doing? How certain are you that this is the right approach? Those kind of calibration questions uncover deep thought patterns and beliefs that you can work with as a coach. So we've built rapport, we've asked good questions. No point in asking good questions unless you are able to listen. And listening is a fundamental skill for all of us. It's why there's that, that odd little course on my platform, I beg your pardon, which is about listening skills. It's not a long course. I think it's only about an hour or hour and a half. And it goes through, how we listen, what gets in the way, the different types of listening, and the skill of listening well, how to hone your ability to really listen hard. And, a lot of it is about quieting that little voice in your head. The fact is that the human brain can work 2 or 3 times as fast as the average human can speak. It varies a little bit from person to person, depending on how fast we can speak, how fast we can think. And I think some languages, the ideas come more densely than in other languages, which are kind of looser languages. So I think, for example, Chinese, I believe, delivers information faster at a denser rate. So possibly the ratio of thinking speed to listening speed is a bit different. But the simple fact is, when you are listening to somebody talking, you still have some spare brain capacity, and the temptation is to use it to let your brain wander, to think about the shopping, think about other things, the next meeting. As soon as you do that, you are not giving your full attention to the person you're listening to, and that is selective listening. And it is not the kind of listening that is going to really give you a deep insight into what they are saying and really understand where they're coming from. So the ability to filter out that little voice in your head and that desire to judge what they say, So, third skill is listening. And then the fourth skill is silence. And one thing I have learned over many years is that in a conversation, whether it's a one-to-one conversation or a one-to-many conversation or a many-to-many conversation, in any group of people, from 2 to 1 million, the person who is most comfortable with silence has control of the dialogue, or at least has a significant advantage. Your ability to remain silent through the discomfort of that silence gives you an advantage. If you ask a question and I answer it, and your first response is silence, I'll become uncomfortable with that silence and I'll add to my answer. And into the silence often comes the truth, the bit of the answer I wasn't ready to give away. It's a fantastic tool in negotiation. It is a fantastic tool in coaching. It's a great way to elicit more information. It's a great way to gain a sense of people's comfort with what they've said. Because if people are not completely comfortable with what they've said, they will find it harder to leave a silence, and therefore they will fill it with qualifications that start to give away where their discomfort lies. So master silence, and it takes time. And if you can hold someone's gaze through the silence, that's an awful lot of personal power you're deploying. And I learned this from a colleague of mine who I observed sitting silently through a meeting, and I didn't know why he was at that meeting. I knew why I was there. I knew why every other member of our team was there. I'd never met him before that meeting. I got to know him afterwards, but I didn't this was my first encounter with him, and I sat there wondering what he was doing. And the meeting sort of came to a quiet end. And one of my senior colleagues looked at Ken, and he was silent. And the client was looking at Ken, and he was silent. And then he asked one question, and it transformed the meeting. That's not just about the power of silence, but it certainly is that silence gave what he said a huge weight and impact, gave him a lot of influence, that ability to master silence, and that then became one of my objectives, was to become better at being silent. So, any questions, any thoughts? That's kind of the prepared stuff that I had, but I'm happy. I've done a lot of training. I've been trained a lot in coaching and quite a lot, not as much in mentoring. I've done a lot of particularly coach training. So hopefully I can answer any questions you've got. But do hit me up with your thoughts, with your questions. Otherwise, I'm going to kind of point you at a couple of resources I want to advertise today. Including one that is a bit of an announcement. So, let me just line something up for you. So the first thing I want to point out is that, and a couple of people have asked questions about what's next in your careers. So I want to go back to my browser and show you a new-ish website. This website is called Management Courses. It links to my second YouTube channel, which is a new channel. It's new. It's 2 years old now. It's as old as the lockdown and COVID. Kind of came into being just before anyone heard the word COVID. But I relatively recently built a website to showcase management courses, and what you can see here, there's a link for my reading list. There's also just a little about thing, but sign up here. But what is really useful on this is it's easier, I think, to navigate this. Are you actually going to do anything? It's easier to navigate, I think, now than the YouTube channel, because I've listed all the courses in their 8 sections. So there's a couple complete courses in the Managing Yourself section. There's one already in the Manager as Communicator. 2 in the Managing Leading Individuals. Motivation course is complete. That's done. We're in the last few weeks of the feedback course. That's still rolling out. Feedback, I think, comes out on every Tuesday at the moment. I'll show you the Thursday one in a bit. There's one course on managing and leading groups, which is about teams. We've got our negotiation course in the managerial skill set, and the nature of organisations course. Great if you want to move up to PMO level, whoever asked that question. Understanding organisations and business, this is going to be useful for you. None yet on managing innovation and change, and frankly, I'm struggling with this because, of course, most of that content is at online PM courses. All the managing projects is there, and my change management course is there. So giving that away, remaking that in a new way and giving it away is not our top priority. But then managing customers and clients, the other course that's currently running out is my marketing for managers. So this is not designed to train marketers to become good marketers. It's train managers and people like yourselves to understand what marketing is, how it works, and what some of the terminology is. So that's my Thursdays for the next month or two are going to be the second half of the marketing course. We're currently I think working our way through the 4 Ps and that aspect. Will be coming on to things like internet marketing, advertising, and the big names in the world of marketing academically. So, and if you click on any of those courses, let's go for the feedback course, because feedback is closely related, of course, to mentoring and coaching. You can only give feedback on behaviour and performance, so top of the iceberg. What we find with all of these courses is going to be a similar structure, and again, my internet connections struggling with everything that's going on. You'll find links to the sections within the course, and then obviously links to the resources that are available. And then in each section you can see the YouTube video links here, which don't take you off the site, they take you to the site. These are the ones that haven't yet come out. So if I click on last week's one, which was 360-degree feedback, which seems to be quite a popular video, then you'll see that the video is there straight from YouTube and the notes are there. So it makes it nice and easy to consume. And I know some Udemy courses are relatively cheap, inexpensive. I know, but this is completely free. This is absolutely completely free. The only price you have to pay is a few minutes of adverts over the course of a course, and some of these are, the feedback courses are going to be a relatively short one, but some of them, like marketing, are going to have about 30-40 videos, so they're going to be 4 or 5 hours of content, so that's lots of stuff for you. Let's just see a couple of comments. Thanks, Mike. Have to come back and go over the recording. Yep, please do, Patrick, but it's good to have you here. Nicholas says, I don't have a question, but I have a comment. I found out there are great mentoring resources and pairing services, not-for-profit, in my region. I suggest you all Google mentoring and your region. That's a great tip. And pairing services, I guess that's not dating, but there is a whole thing called co-coaching, the idea of finding a partner and you coach one another. Different models, different ways of doing it, but co-coaching, finding a professional with whom you share a high regard and professional respect, but in no way feel yourselves competing with one another. You don't have to be in the same profession or in the same area of a profession. You can find, an accountant to pair with as a project manager, or as a project manager you can find another project manager, perhaps working in a different business or a different sector or a different type of project. That different perspective can be really helpful. Less helpful in terms of mentoring, but certainly as a coach can be really, so that's a really nice comment. Thank you very much, Nicola. Now, the other thing I want to point you to, let's just do that here. A number of people have asked me, do I have any membership program? Can you interact with me in a more personal way? A few people have asked me for coaching and mentoring services, and I have mentored and coached a few people over the last couple of years. This is a bit of a trial, and I have no idea how it's going to work. I have no idea the scale of the demand, but the only thing that occurs to me is that the kind of people who are most likely to find this interesting are going to be among the group of people who are listening to me now. So I have created a membership program with 3 tiers of membership: the friend level, the partner level, and the leader level. So let's have a look at these. So the friend level, low cost, simple thing. Basically, you can buy me a coffee every month. I know some of you have bought me a coffee over the years. That's great. You can ask me anything. I'll answer your project management questions, 1 per month. Send me your questions by email. Happy to do that. You'll get discounts on all the courses, which you can use, which won't be time limited. I'm looking at how I can create early access to some of the YouTube videos I create. And there's an exclusive bonus if you sign up for annual membership. I will tell you about that in a minute. So, really, you get to see a video early. That's not much big deal. You get discounts. Great if you want the products, but you get a monthly newsletter, which is just me wibbling on. And you can send me emails. But frankly, people send me emails now. They don't pay, and that's absolutely fine. So what do you get? Not a lot. I just know there are some people out there who want to provide a little bit of support for the things I do. But if you go for the annual thing, I came up with this idea, an exclusive annual bonus a while ago, and it took a long time for me to put two and two together. Next month, my third of 3 announcements at the start of the year will be a new ebook series, Kindle exclusive ebooks. Kindle exclusive and Kindle's terms mean I can't sell those ebooks in any other format by Kindle, but Kindle doesn't allow me to discount books or give them away free. But I believe it is within the scope of the program, the Kindle program, for me to give away free PDFs. So I will be launching next month an 8 ebook series which will come out through the rest of 2022. If you join for annual, you will get all of those ebooks as PDFs at no cost when they come out. I'm planning to sell them for probably around $5 or $6 each, so let's say $5 each, and there's 8 of them. That's $40 straight off worth of content. Probably more likely to be $6, in which case that's it, 6 8 48 plus a couple of dollars tip. So if you want to join, please do. If you don't, please don't. I'm not trying to take money away from people who can't afford it. Oh, by the way, I should have thought. Just going to put the management courses website into the chat for those who need it, and I will now put the members program link in the chat as well. So, what about the partner level? The partner level is for people who actually want to interact with me, and they want kind of a deeper experience than this. And so, yep, you can buy me a big cup of coffee every month. And I'm going to say from March 2022, but we'll see what happens and if anyone joins up or how many joins up. You'll get the monthly newsletter, but from March 2022, hopefully, we'll be doing a monthly team coaching and mentoring call on Zoom. So you bring your questions, your challenges, what's getting in your way, how you want to develop, and we will discuss it, and I will facilitate it, and I will provide my mentoring, I will provide my coaching, and anyone else on it. I hope we can create a safe space. We'll provide their input too in whatever ways they see fit. I see this as an open developmental experience. Again, members discounts, early access if I can arrange that. If you sign up for the annual membership, you will also get my project manager's immersion program. If you've already bought that, then we'll find something else for you. Yep, you'll get the exclusive bonus from the friend level, of course, the ebooks, and also if you sign up for the year, you will also be able to request your own video, article, template, or checklist. So you basically say, Mike, I really would like it if you would make a checklist for this, or a video about that, or an article on this, and it will go into my backlog, and can't promise it will be within a month or two, but certainly within the kind of 6-month time frame it will appear, and it will have your name attached to it. And by the way, I am looking at anyone who signs up, finding some way of advertising your support for the channel in the way that you choose. So if you use an alias, that's fine, that's what will go up. If you use your own name, that's fine, that's what will go up. If you only want an initial, or you don't want your name up, that's fine. So we'll find out how you want to do that. So if you want to kind of join a monthly call on a monthly basis with limited commitment, that's $70. If you sign up for the full year, then you get the full year of calls. You get immersion program, which is worth $200. Just before Christmas, it was worth $400. So I've kind of devalued that, haven't I? You get the $50 odd worth of ebooks. So there's $250 straight up immediate value plus the calls. So I think that's a really good deal. The final tier, the leader level, you're going to buy me a latte and a Danish pastry every month. you get everything that everyone else gets, but you also get a monthly 1-to-1 1 hour coaching mentoring call. So that's $200 a month. I expect most people will just do 1 or 2 months if they choose to do that, if they want that coaching mentoring call with me. We'll see about, actually, I think if you go maybe for 4 months, then I'll just give you an annual partner level once you complete that, so you can join in with the Zoom calls for a year. But yeah, that's really for people who want my time personally and chat confidentially about things. So that's available. I'd be interested to know your thoughts about whether you think that's a kind of potentially helpful program, whether or not it's for you. That's a decision to make. Whether you think I've agonised over the pricing, because I know money is tight for a lot of people. And I've tried to figure out pricing that is as cheap as I can make it, but still actually going to be worth my time, particularly if we get low take up on the Zoom calls. But it's there, it's out there now. It's for people like you, but it may not necessarily be for you. But I put a link to that page. I'll put a link if you want to go straight and sign up and you don't want to kind of mess around with looking at the page anymore. You know it's for you. Come on, mouse, do your thing. Where are you? I'll put that link straight into there. Some of you have bought me a coffee, so you know the site, but now the membership tab is there. But I would counsel you to give it some careful thought, because it's your money, and whilst I'd love to have you in the community in a deeper way, I'm mindful that some of these are a lot of money. So there we are. Yet again, I managed to forget. Oh, I do know. I remember. Let's come back. Just to say that we're coming to the end. I'll take questions if you've got any. I've seen something pop in. I'll look at that in a moment. But next week, first of the month, February having 28 days means it's very easy to remember that the 1st of March is going to be a Tuesday too, or first Tuesday is going to be the 1st of March. And on the 1st of March, we'll be focusing on stakeholders and stakeholder engagement, which is a really important topic as well. So, and I will be sharing the nature and the description of the 8 ebook series that the first one will be publishing in March, on the 1st of March, probably, maybe just before. It'll be out there, and I'll be publicising that, and asking you to consider that. It won't be expensive. It's probably going to be about $6, just to, and it. Not surprisingly, it will be about stakeholders and stakeholder engagement, but I'll be explaining the series. Please don't put it into the chat, but if you figured out what the series is, and I've given you everything you need to know what to make a good educated guess at what the series is going to be, then do send me an email saying I figured it out, Mike, and I'll see if you're right. But I will see you all next time, which will be the 1st of March, same time, same place. Thank you very much for attending. What have we got? Nicolas says, you can count me in. Fantastic. It would be great to have you on board. Don't know which tier yet, but I will consider all 3. Okay, and as I say, I'm looking to try and figure out how we can make an easy swap. People who want, a few sessions of coaching, personal coaching, but basically a lower tier is right for them. Figure out how to make that work. So if you've got any kind of questions, any of you, just email me with those questions. I will type my email address into the chat. Oh, misspelt it again. For some reason, my my fingers seem to write very easily. Mike at onlinepmcourses.com. Anyway, Mike at onlinepmcourses says, send me an email if you've got questions, or if you think that you've got kind of a case for a slightly special package, and we'll try and figure out how to make that work for you. But otherwise, I'm going to sign off. Thank you all very much for attending. It's been a great pleasure. We've hit the kind of 90 minutes pretty neatly. Again, more by luck than judgment. See you all in a month's time. Have a really good month. Try some coaching, try some mentoring, and see if you can make it work for you and for the other person. And ask me any questions you have, either now or by email, as you try it out. See you soon.